Is this what the people are seeing right now?
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One of the places on the list, one of the places on the list that has all day dining is that place. I mean, it has outdoor heated dining. Is that place we went to, Ruthie's All Day? It's on the list. A couple places we went to on that. Remember that seafood restaurant that we passed when we were on this walk with the boys not too long ago, and we were like, "Oh, I forgot about this restaurant." The seafood restaurant you and I went to when we went to the Torpedo Factory.
Yes.
So it's on there. What else? Rockland's Barbecue. Glory Days is on there. It's gonna be a surprise for you, so you'll be surprised. I was gonna say it's probably gonna shock Abraham. Did you know that Glory Days has how many restaurants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 7 restaurants throughout Fairfax County, and then the only one of Mike's Great American restaurants that has outdoor seating is their one in Reston. Their new.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
The one Jackson's, the one that we saw when we were in our Reston Town Center. Nobody can see camera 4, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
Bum 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 doo.
It's a school. This little countdown video.
What you say?
The countdown video is cool.
Your audio is about to be turned on, so. What is up, people? What is up, people? We hope that you like the newest intro to the show. This is we're trying to bring a bit more quality to the stream. My name is Abraham Walker, and this is Crystal Walker, and you're watching Where to Live in Northern Virginia. It's a channel focused on helping individuals find where to live in Northern Virginia. That the name kind of
says it all.
Kind of says it all. So before we get into the show, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. This is today is Wednesday, December 15th. We're only 10 days away from Christmas.
That's true.
So that means that we're almost to the end of the year. Hopefully everybody has some great plans for the new year. Hope everybody have their Christmas shopping already done. If you don't,
or at least started,
right? Yes, you still have 10 more days. And actually, there's actually a couple local spots that are still running some specials. So either on King Street in Old Town Alexandria. I even saw something in Annapolis, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
They have an event. We're not going to be able to get to it, but it's on Thursday nights. I mean, tomorrow's the last night that the event is going to take place, but it's like a shopping escapade all the way up to 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's until 11 o'clock at night, but Annapolis is like an hour or so away from us. So.
Yeah. There is something local, though. In Tyson's, in the Vienna area, there is a holiday market that's going on until the 18th. So I want to say that's Saturday.
Excellent.
So still some options out there.
Perfect. So if you're watching this show, please let us know where you're watching from. Where are you located at? Where are you coming from? Last week we had what was that last week? What's today? Wednesday?
Last week.
Yeah, last week we had the pleasure of closing another transaction with a YouTube viewer of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Their family moved here from Korea, PCS to the area to start working at the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
They found themselves a lovely home in Woodbridge, and we just happen to be talking about Woodbridge today. That's our target area for today.
Correct.
So they moved in last week. We closed in November, but they moved in last week.
Mm-hmm.
This was a client that actually purchased sight unseen.
Correct.
So they didn't see the property at all until last
week.
Talk about a potentially stressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways, I mean, this is getting a little bit off track of what we're going to be talking about today, but one of the ways that we try to take some of that pressure off, because we did have a gentleman call us from Germany today, who is also PCS into the area. He's going to be PCS into the area, going to Fort Belvoir in March, and he also will be purchasing sight unseen.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I expressed to the gentleman today, and also our client who just used our services, is that we do very thorough walkthroughs of the property, video walkthroughs, right? So they're not live streamed because I believe that a live stream session would cause for too many distractions. And I like to go through the property room by room. I have a laser measurer to kind of give you an idea of the size of the room. My main focus when I'm looking at properties via these video walkthroughs is to really try to talk you out of that particular property. I feel that if I show you all of the negatives, right? If I bring every negative to your attention and you still want to move forward with the property, then that's a great deal for you.
And there are no surprises then.
No surprises. Mm-hmm. And I'm extremely blunt about what I find. I'm always looking for, the most minute things. And it's really like when you look at properties with me in person, right? Like I know that my clients or a buyer can become, they kind of fall in love with the property, right? Like most people have like an idea of what is really important to them when they get into property. So they go straight to that. Maybe it's the kitchen, maybe it's the bedroom, maybe it's the bathroom. It's something that you maybe don't have now that you're looking for in this particular property. And so I look at it as my job to ensure that we find everything out, right? Because it doesn't make sense to find something out in a home inspection because that's like $600 and it's a waste of time. If we could have found something during a walkthrough, and that's what we do. We do a video version of that in addition to the video version of the video walkthrough, we also do like a little drive-in tour around the neighborhood, right? One of the things that I noticed from my contemporaries is that they'll show you the inside of the property, maybe the outside of the property, but they don't show you the neighborhood. And the neighborhood is just as important as the property itself.
That's true. So in addition to doing the interior of the property, we'll drive around the subdivision, and usually we also record driving into the neighborhood and also leaving the neighborhood, just so you can see how close it is to creature comforts or any major thoroughfares. So it's a pretty extensive video. It's not a quick tour. Usually about 30 minutes for a single family, including drive up time.
That's true. That's true. So if you're watching this and you are PCS into the area and you may not have enough time to do a buying trip, just know that that's a service we offer, and it's been known to take the stress out of purchasing sight unseen, right? So today we're going to talk about the Prince William County. We're going to start the program off with discussing 5 reasons to buy in the wintertime, like 5 reasons why you would want to buy in the wintertime. Then we'll go over some of the numbers for Prince William County, followed up by Crystal has a couple presentations talking about things to do, and then she'll also do a deep dive into the Eagles Point
is actually today's subdivision.
Eagles Point. I don't know why.
Eagle Ridge is a street.
In
Eagles Point.
I keep on thinking about Eagles Ridge. I was looking for something today, and
you had a listing on Eagle Ridge. That's why. Gotcha.
That makes sense. Excellent. So be sure to let us know where you're watching the show from in the chat. Let us know. Are you local? Are you out of town? Let us know. So 5 reasons to buy in the wintertime. If you're looking for a deal, right? Like if you're one of those individuals who maybe you don't have enough money for a down payment, but you do have great credit, buying a home in the wintertime is an ideal situation for you because, first off, there's less competition.
And so not just if you don't have that much for down payment, if you need closing cost assistance. So it just puts you in a situation where you may be able to offer a little less or negotiate more with the seller.
That's true. And because there's less competition during this time of the year, well, I guess let's talk about why is there less competition. For starters, a lot of people are going on vacations or their lease started in the springtime, right? So maybe they came to the area, they can't afford to move in the wintertime. So that's one way that is less competition. Number 2, a lot of sellers don't put their houses on the market or they pull their houses off the market. So there's less inventory at this time of the year as well. Less inventory usually leads to less people looking for properties. So that means that a lot of the inventory that you would buy in the wintertime is either homes that did not sell in the fall season or sellers that really have to sell at this point of the year, right? So less competition is the first reason why you would want to buy in the wintertime. Oh, you know what else? Another thing with the less competition, agents take vacations. Real estate agents take vacations in the wintertime, right?
That's true. It's usually the slowest time of year for us. And so a lot of agents take December off.
Yeah, the whole month. It's crazy.
The market slows down considerably, so there's less work to do. So,
but it's a forward, like, kid you not, like when we used to have an office at our real estate company, December would just get
ghost
so
town.
Quiet.
Just a ghost town.
You'd be thinking to yourself, do these people not have bills in January and February? So that's another reason. Agents will tell their clients, hey, don't sell your house, don't look for a house, it's cold, all this other stuff. So real estate agents are another reason why there's less competition in December. The second reason that we've already kind of touched on, that you want to buy a house in the December timeframe or the winter timeframe, is closing cost assistance or seller assistance, seller subsidy. It goes by a couple of different names. But if you're looking to reduce the amount of money it costs to get into a property, buying a home in the wintertime is excellent time of the year for you, because the seller, if they are trying to move, if they are trying to sell their property at this time of the year, they have to sell. And if they kept their, if, like, let's say for instance, their house was on the market in the fall, they didn't get an offer, and their house is still on the market now, then they even, if they don't live in a property, they have holding costs, which holding costs means that's how much money you have to spend on the property, their mortgage, their utilities, just in the event that they don't live in a property, right? So those sellers are really anxious to sell, motivated to sell, and then they'll be willing to, they may not be willing to quote unquote drop the price, but they may be interested in doing some type of seller assistance, seller subsidy, closing cost assistance, in that nature in the wintertime.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
So the third reason why right now is a good time to buy a home is you can actually get those fall properties at a discount. So when a seller comes on the market, their first price, that list price that they first advertise the property at, is usually the number that they would like to get. Now, some sellers do, it's just usually in the springtime they do this. Some sellers will put the house on the market at a certain price and then want to get over that price. In the wintertime, you don't really see that much, that type of activity.
Although we did just see that with the property we closed on yesterday.
Oh,
remember?
Oh yes, yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, but that was a special case.
That was a special case. I'm just saying we don't usually see that in the winter market, but that is what happened with the property that closed yesterday.
So you're able to get a discount because the house has been on the market. No one has been interested in it. And so they may be willing to accept a little bit less. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be able to get something $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 off, right? But you may be able to save some money on buying a property that was, think about it like a sale, right? Like there was this product that didn't sell during the prime time. Maybe it was a spring sweater and now it's summertime. And so they got to move that spring sweater. It's the same concept. Now, if you see a property that's been on the market since the fall season, right? It's been on the market for a couple of days, a month, 2 months or whatever, but you haven't seen the price reduced, right? You haven't seen that the seller reduce the price. That doesn't mean that the seller isn't willing to take less for that property. What it could be, and this is very common, it could be that the listing agent didn't advise the seller to reduce the price. You got to remember, most people are not confrontational, right? And that includes real estate agents. And so if a real estate agent list a property, and most real estate agents are like the friendly type of salesperson. They're not like the, like the Wolf of Wall Street or something like that. They're usually friends with the seller, right? They know, or at
least friendly,
right? Yeah. And so when you're friendly with the seller, when you're friendly with somebody, it's hard to tell them that, we're not going to be able to reach the number that I originally talked to you about.
It's a difficult conversation. Having to speak with a client about a price reduction is always stress inducing, even if it's only a slight price reduction. It's always stress inducing for the agent. And so some agents will avoid that conversation.
They will.
And therefore never request a price reduction.
Never talk to the seller about a price reduction. I've taken so many listings, right, that were expired because the listing agent never followed up with the client about reducing the sales price, and the seller wanted to reduce the sales price.
They would have reduced the price had it been asked. Absolutely.
So you could definitely take advantage of that. If a property comes on the market, it's been on the market for a little while, don't, some people will say, well, it's been on the market so long, maybe there's something wrong with it. That's not always the case.
And that's what your home inspection is for. Yes. So don't let that deter you. At least see the property and then make a decision.
Exactly. So getting a discount on fall properties during the wintertime is another great reason why you want to buy in the wintertime. The fourth reason why you'd want to buy during the winter season is the transactions are quicker. You see, in the springtime and in the summertime, there are so many sales happening at the same time that it's challenging to find home inspectors. The title company will start to kind of place demands on when you can close. The lender may be also overwhelmed by so much business that
the appraiser is really the issue we had over the summer. This summer, there were so many properties on the market, so many buyers that, I mean, usually you can get an appraisal back, and 2 weeks is enough time. We always say 22 days minimum, but realistically, we expect it to take like 10 to 14 days. But that was absolutely not the case this summer. We had appraisers going in a week before closing. Like just showing up at the property a week before closing. And that's especially difficult for us, particularly with VA loans, because in a very competitive market, you see people who want to close in 3 weeks and very quick closings. And that just was not possible. All of our VA buyers, our lenders were letting us know 30-day minimum, like even 30 days is pushing it, which we don't have to worry about that so much in the winter, because again, same transaction that closed yesterday. Lender calls a week ago, like, hey, we can close a week early.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the summer.
And I guess the beautiful thing about buying a home is that you don't have to know about all these back door conversations, because these lenders be telling us all kind of lies about, like, I can get the deal done quickly. That's not really the case on the VA loan. The lender doesn't really have that much control over the appraiser. So the appraiser just lives their life and kind of they complete
There's no
appraisal.
Expedited appraisal there. Yes. It's just when it gets done. Like that's all we can do.
Exactly. So there's a quicker transaction. So everybody's available. The real estate agent is available to show you multiple properties. The lender's available because they have less deals. Home inspectors, appraisers, the title company. Like it's the best time to buy a property if you don't like a lot of crowds.
A lot of crowds, a lot of competition. And if you're not too picky, because that definitely plays a part in it. If you are really particular, then it would behoove you to shop and search for a home when there are more properties on the market. But if you're not extremely picky and you can look at, 5 homes and make a decision, then it may be a better time of year for you.
What this reminds me of is we're from New Orleans. So we've been there since 2013. And when you live in New Orleans, everybody likes to visit New Orleans, right? And so usually people try to visit New Orleans when everyone is visiting, like during Mardi Gras or Jazz Fest or some other festival. That's actually not the best time to visit New Orleans. That's really not. It's so crowded.
So crowded.
The hotels are crowded. The streets are crowded. There's a lot of drunk people everywhere. Like it's not the ideal time. And this situation is just like that, where if you don't want to be pressured, then buying a home in the wintertime is ideal for you. So the 5th reason why you want to buy a home during the wintertime is you actually get to see the house in its worst condition. That's right. You see, when you buy a house in the summertime and the seller has the AC blasting, you don't know if that house is well insulated. You just don't know. But when you get in there during the wintertime, and there's the breeze inside,
chilling your bones when you walk around.
Sheesh. See that? You get to see that during the wintertime. Like you really don't know what type of house you have until the winter season, right? Until it gets nasty outside. But since most people buy houses during the springtime and the summertime, they're in love with their property. They don't even know if the heater works, right? Because
well, I mean, it's the same vice versa, right? So in the summertime, you can't really test the heat. Winter, you can't really test the air. So nothing you can really do about that. You can't really test both systems during any time of year. Well, I guess fall.
That's true. But yeah, so you get to see the house in its worst condition. You get to see what's back in the backyard, right? Like all of the foliage is down. You get to see straight to the back and see, okay, great. This is what my property looks like. Also, you don't have to worry about all of those allergies during the spring, summer season. I mean, I really like looking at properties when they're at their worst. Like even in the spring, summertime, I love going to see properties when it's raining, because then if it's raining, you could tell if maybe there's a leak in the yard. I mean, not a leak in the yard, a leak in the roof, or how the water is traveling outside. I love going in the backyard just to determine if my clients are going to be able to have a usable backyard. Right?
How is it sloped?
Yes.
You know, proper drainage, all of that. Absolutely.
You can't see that if the grass is green, hasn't rained in several days or weeks, and everything's just lovely and beautiful. No, you can't see that. So that was it. That was the 5 reasons why you want to buy a home, or 5 reasons to buy a home in the wintertime. 1, there's less competition. 2, there's more opportunities to negotiate with the seller for a seller closing cost assistance or a seller subsidy. 3, you could possibly get a discount on the property because you have this inventory that's been on the market for a long time. And so you can get yourself a deal, right? A little discount. Number 4, it's a quick transaction because more of the professionals are available. So you can get in touch with the agent for quick showings. You can get in touch with the lender, the appraisal company, the home inspection company, the title company. And then number 5, you get to see the house in its worst condition. It's absolute worst. And then you know that if you love that house in its absolute worst condition, it's going to be a wonderful experience for you. So that was it. So that's the 5 reasons why you want to buy a house in the wintertime.
Excellent. So up next, we are going to have some numbers from Prince William County. And are we doing all of Prince William or a neighborhood for the numbers today?
We're just doing all of Prince William County.
Okay.
There's really enough transactions
in any one subdivision.
Yes.
Roger that.
So a couple things stood out to me as far as the Prince William County numbers. The average sales price from November 2021 to November 2020 to November 2021 increased by $50,000. That's $50,000. That's just mind-boggling, right? So right now the average sales price is at $498,000. There were 721 homes sold in November. That's actually a 7% increase from November 2020 to November 2021. It's actually 11% increase year to date. So from January to November, if you compare those last years, right? Now, sellers are getting 99.8% of the list price. So that means that if you're a buyer looking at homes, you're not going to really see too many deals, right? So that means that sellers are getting only 0.2% off of the list price on average, right? So that's a very small discount for those properties. It's taken about 3 weeks or 17 days for properties to sell. This is actually an increase of 70%, but it's really going from 10 to 17 days. So it's really from
a week.
It's a week. So, but it is a 70% increase. We should have made that as a thumbnail to get some people in. New listings in the month of November, there were 484 new listings. That's actually 21% less than last year, which kind of seems like an alarming stat. But when you look at the year-to-date numbers, so from January to November, it's actually the new listings are up 11%, right? So that just means that we had more new listings early in the year than at this latter part of the year. And this is actually what we thought would happen because we believe we're going back to a normal market where we have more transactions at the beginning of the year, really in the middle of the year, less transactions or less activity towards the end of the year. And that's just what it seems like what's happening right now.
That's true. I mean, and we've been seeing indicators of that for the last few months. As we've been going over the numbers for every part of Northern Virginia, we've been seeing things slow down, or I don't even know if I want to say slow down. I think things are just getting back to normal after what was really a boom in the market over the last 12 months.
It's true. And we are starting to see that this is, there is some normal activity to this because at the end of November, we ended with 289 active listings in Prince William County. And in November 2020, there was 288 active listings, right? So as you can see, there's really not much fluctuation, which is actually a good sign because it means that there is some level of predictability in the market, which then kind of dampers anxiety, right? So you don't have to feel, well, the prices did increase by $50,000 over a year, and then last year was a banger of a year. So I don't know what to say.
Well, you said the numbers are almost flat for the number of active listings. What I would be interested to see is what those numbers look like in 2019, because even in fall of last year, we were seeing an uptick in the number of listings.
Right.
So just to be flat to 2020 is actually still pretty good because that's still an improvement in the market overall.
I could see that. So we can see, let's see, new listings by month. There we go. Okay. All right, so these are new listings by month, and if we're looking for the 2019 numbers, you still see that
November.
Yeah, that November. So you still see that the numbers are still trending downward in November, which is what we assume we would see on a regular or a traditional market. So as you can see, these dips right here are all in the winter time. So this December, right?
Okay.
And then another chart that I put together was just a 10-year trend for the average sales price, right? So this is that 2021. You see this huge launch right here from February to it looks like it was April, and then we're starting to kind of go back into a little dip there. We just don't know how deep that dip will be, because as you can see, usually we just have even this little curve up right here. This is abnormal. So if you notice, we constantly have these dips towards the winter months. So this curve last year, as the prices were increasing as we go into the fourth quarter, was abnormal, and then we had just an abnormal spring season, and now prices are starting to dip a little bit, and I guess we'll see. We'll see how this fares for us. A couple other numbers that I want to cover with you. Single family homes, the median sales price for single family homes was $576,000. For townhouses, it was $390,000, and for condos in Prince William County, it was $338,000. Days on market ranged from 16 to 18 days on market, even within those different categories. There was 32% of all of the transactions in Prince William County did have some form of seller subsidy.
What percentage?
32%. So a third of all transactions, right? Which makes sense if you think about like where Prince William County is located. It is in the southern part of the county, so it's a little bit more affordable. So individuals in those price ranges are going to be more demanding of closing costs, even if they inflate the value of the property to then include their closing costs. So that makes sense. And the average seller subsidy or average closing cost of seller concession was $8,000. What's nice about if you're moving to Prince William County, or if you're considering Prince William County, is that at $8,000, you really only have maybe like $3,000 to $5,000 of closing costs left,
depending on your loan. Absolutely.
Exactly. So if you're a VA buyer moving into the Prince William County, which 15% of all the transactions in November were VA buyers, then you could get into a property for $3,000 to $5,000
if you build your funding fee into your loan.
Exactly. So those are the numbers for Prince William County. I do want to end on one note right here. Let's see, 5. These are the most expensive sales for the month of November, right? So we see Gainesville. There's several properties in like the Gainesville area, and then not surprising over here towards the Occoquan area, And then on the water over here, there are several properties along these little ravines that are just massive. They have beautiful views too. So these are the most expensive sales, top 10 sales in the area. Another thing that's surprising about these transactions is that 30% of them were VA loans.
Oh, now that is surprising.
Yeah, I think the top sale was at like 1.5 million, and the lowest or the 10th highest sale was like in the 900s, and so most of those transactions, a third of them were VA loans, right? So this is just another example of what you can do with the VA loan, right? So a VA loan isn't just for starter homes, or it just isn't for smaller purchases, right? You can still use your VA loan to purchase a luxury property. So those are the numbers. What do you think?
I'm actually probably most surprised by the percentage of buyers using the VA loan in the top price range here.
Okay.
But I guess the biggest surprise for me is that the numbers are pretty flat outside of the VA buyers there, that the numbers are pretty flat as far as active listings. I would have expected there to be more of a drop since we're kind of seeing things level off a little bit. I'm surprised that the numbers are pretty close to what we saw in 2020.
Yeah. I guess it all evens out, right? Like it feels, I think the thing about numbers is that until you look at the numbers, it just feels like the market is moving a certain way. And so that's why we want to do these deep dives into the numbers, just so that our viewers can not feel pressured by the market or pressured by the marketing, the media companies that are marketing to you to say that this is a crazy market or people are doing those other things. The numbers really just doesn't support it. Now, the numbers do say that the price of homes did increase by $50,000, right, compared to last year, right? So that's a fact, but 30% of homes, or a third of the homes, are getting closing cost assistance, right?
Also, I did want to talk about that, because when you talk about homes getting 99.8% of list price, it doesn't take into consideration any closing cost assistance. That's just the final closed sales price.
That's true.
And so if you consider the fact that a third of buyers are getting on average $8,000, well, then that's something that buyers should take into consideration, because maybe buying a home is not outside of your reach.
That's true. Also, that means that a lot of the sellers are not really getting that 99.8% of list price, right? They're building in closing costs. Yeah. There's one more thing I want to do, is let's look at, so the average sales price of properties in the Prince William County is at $498,000. So this is just a quick search on Zillow, a publicly traded company, from $450,000 to $550,000, right? So most individuals are going to be looking in this price range. So I just wanted to kind of show you what is available in that price range here. So we have a 4-bedroom, 4-bath townhome, right? So at $535,000. So I know a lot of people who think of themselves moving to Woodbridge, saving money.
But this is Manassas, though.
Well, Prince William County, I'm sorry. Okay. So moving to the Prince William County, believing that they're going to save money, moving to a single family home. And Prince William County, while it is more affordable, you're still looking at townhomes in that $500,000 price range, right? So let's look at another property here. So this is a property listed at $490,000. So this is a single family home here. Nice size lot. You have some off-street parking, no garage, but still you have a decent sized backyard, and this is at $490,000. So this is another example of how what's available in the Prince William County area. And so we'll look at one more property, and then we'll go to Crystal's segment. So this is new construction in the Dumfries area. So this is going to be further down 95. So this is $522,000. So again, if you're looking at a newer property at that average sales price or median sales price, you're probably looking at a townhouse, nice size townhouse, but nonetheless, it is a townhouse. And as you can see your neighbors in the backyard. So that's it. So that's our newest segment, just looking at what type of properties are in these price ranges, right?
Excellent.
Back to you, Crystal.
All right. So each week I like to go over or highlight a neighborhood in the part of town that we're talking about. So this week we are going over Prince William County, and the subdivision we're going to take a deep dive into is Eagles Point. Eagles Point is located in Woodbridge. It is actually it's off Route 1 between Dumfries Road and Cardinal Drive. And it's not too far off I-95. It's actually ideal for someone who, whether you're at Fort Belvoir or Quantico, because it's kind of in between the two. And it's about 30 miles from DC. So if you're commuting to DC, it might be a little bit far for you. It really just depends on how much of a commute you're willing to tolerate.
Right.
But it is a great neighborhood of single family homes. The average sales price is going to be in like that 650s. Actually, it was 635,000 was the average sales price so far in 2021, with the low being about 580 and the high being 850. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about those different types of properties. So when you first drive into Eagles Point, the first thing you notice is the recreation center is located within the first block of turning into the subdivision. It's a huge recreation center. So there's, sitting area with a fireplace, meeting area, banquet hall, and also the community does have a fitness center. Now, just outside of the recreation center, there's also a swimming pool, playground, and a couple of tennis courts. So one thing that you'll become familiar with when you move to Northern Virginia is many of the homes are going to have HOAs or be in an HOA, particularly newer construction. And this is a pretty new construction. It was built starting in 2005, but there are units added as recently as 2016. And even there's still more land there for them to continue building. Right. So it is definitely a newer construction. And when looking at newer construction, you can almost always bet on being in the HOA. So as far as homes, as I said, it's all single family homes. And so there are two different styles of single families. Now, there are a lot of models. So when I say two styles, I don't mean that, all the homes are exactly the same, but there are the taller models that kind of resemble townhouses. Those are like the villa models. So those are their smaller homes. And when I say smaller, I do not mean small, because they start off at around 2,500 square feet and they go up to 3,500 in that villa model. Right. But I say smaller just because of the other size home. But all of the homes are at least 4-bedroom. And those 4 bedrooms are always all on the upper level. So you have at least 4 bedrooms. Many of the units also have a 5th bedroom in the basement, depending on the layout and whether there's an egress window, what have you. And then the one cool thing is pretty much all of the units have an open floor plan. So some of the units are completely open on that main living level, while other units have a separate living dining room. But for the most part, all of the units, the kitchen opens up into the family room or the great room. So nice large kitchens, pretty much all of them have eat-in kitchens. So it's a really great neighborhood, or a great area if you enjoy an open floor plan or not necessarily a traditional layout for your home. Now, the reason I say that it's like townhouses, and Abraham knows this, is because the homes are very tall. The villa style homes are huge. And if you're driving down the street, they look like townhomes because there's not a lot of space in between the units.
Yes.
So I won't say you can reach out and touch your neighbor, but there's just not a lot of space from one house to the next. They're pretty decent sized backyards, though.
Yeah, but they also don't have much front yard. So that's why they kind of resemble townhouses, because you have this property that's 3 stories straight high up. And also they have good ceiling height too. So they're tall. They kind of tower over the street. So that's true.
Yeah. So And when he says they tower, they're 3 stories high. So there are 2 different types of villas. So the one is the one he mentioned that the 3 stories high, and it's a lower level garage. And so then to enter the home from the outside, you actually have to climb up a flight of stairs to get to that main living level. And the other style we actually toured a few months ago or last month, where you actually do enter on the main level.
Right.
And so that the basement is below grade. And so that is an option in the villa model, but still you're looking at a very small yard and still pretty close to your neighbors. And so that's the main difference between the villa style. And then the next style we're going to talk about is the estate homes.
Can I just say that I really dislike properties where you enter on the main level? The reason why is because there's you have your outside stairs, right? Mm-hmm. So a property that has 3 levels where you enter on the main level, that means that you enter on the middle level. The middle level is considered the main level. The bottom level is considered the basement, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to walk up the stairs to get into the property, or you can go through the garage, right? So a lot of people are going to be using the garage, but you do go up the stairs, and then there's another set of stairs inside your property to bring you either up or down, right? Mm-hmm. So I just find it to be redundant. These models, no, seriously, I do. And especially with the Eagle Point properties, mm-hmm. you know, they have really nice ceiling height.
They're tall.
So if you're walking up to the main level, you know, you're going to be getting your steps in, right?
Wait, are you saying that you like the ones where you walk in on the main level, or you prefer the ones where you go straight up?
Walking on the main level, so then the basement is underground, or
that's what you prefer?
That's what I prefer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we walking on the lower level in our house. I think that's what we're used to. But I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I feel like once you are inside, you're inside. So I don't feel like it's usually a bunch of up and down either way.
But think about it like this: when you have groceries, mm-hmm. you're entering. You have to go upstairs with your groceries. Right.
But if you had groceries, well, yeah, that's a good point. You have me there.
Excellent.
Never mind. You have me there.
Yes.
But that's the difference with those single families, because if you take a townhouse in this neighborhood where you go up the stairs,
right,
you would go up the stairs still because they're all built above grade.
That's true.
So that's the difference is if you're going in on the main level and the basement is below grade, that's the difference.
Hey, I have preferences. I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah. I mean, it all works out.
Yes.
Now, the next type of home they have there are the estate homes, and those are going to be bigger, usually about 3,500 to 4,500 square feet. So they're significantly bigger, and you definitely do see that in the price point. But it's not just that they are bigger homes. They're also on significantly larger lots. Right. So the minimum lot size is going to be like a 1/4 acre. So you're getting much more. Yeah, you're getting much more space in those units. And those are going to be usually starting around 3,400 square feet.
Right.
So really where the villas end off, the estate homes kind of begin. Gotcha. So you're going to get much more yard space, significantly more square footage. And then those, again, start at 4 bedrooms, but some of the units go all the way up to 6 bedrooms. And whereas with the villa, they all have 2-car garages, none of the homes have a single car garage.
Right.
And many of them have what you would call true 2-car garages,
right,
which is when there's a pillar between the 2 garage doors. So some of the homes have that, some of the other ones don't. But what's interesting about the estate homes is some of them even have three garages.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's another difference. I mean, then to circle back around about pricing, so the average price is actually $645 was the average sales price this year. Okay. And the low was $585 with the high being $850. And what you're going to see is the difference. There is a clear line between the villas and the estates. The highest sales price for a villa this year was $650, and the lowest sales price for an estate was $645. All the way up to $850. Gotcha. So you definitely do see a difference. You know, where the villas stop, the estate homes begin. And then one last thing about the neighborhood that I actually kind of like about it is when you live in Northern Virginia, homes can be very cookie cutter. They look really similar. And you would almost expect them to have all of the villa style homes in one part of the neighborhood, right, and all the estates in a different part. And that's actually not the case. What you will find instead is they'll be all the same style a villa home, meaning those tall 3-story ones,
Right.
all on one street. And then another street will have the other villas where you enter on the main level. And then the next block over, you will see estate homes. So what it is a nice mix. It's not like all the estates are on one side of the subdivision.
Right.
And all of the villas are on the other. So really, it's just from block to block. When you turn on one corner, you may end up with a different style of home. So it helps the neighborhood not be so cookie cutter. And really, it's just one large community versus, large estates and the smaller homes.
One thing I like about Eagles Point is that they kind of have like these rolling hills. So even though I wouldn't say it's a compact community, but I will say that you get these different views from your bedroom, right? Which I love. I love the fact that some of the properties can almost see to the Potomac River, which is cool. Some of them have great sunset views. Now there are some of the homes, because you do have this elevation change in the community. They have some homes that have these either sloped down backyards, right? So where it's like a decline going into like your basement level, or a steep slope away. I'm not really a fan of slopes in my backyard, because a lot of our clients wants to put those jump
trampolines,
things.
baby.
Yes, trampolines. Yes, trampolines in their backyard. So we actually couldn't. We were showing a property to a client, and we looked at a property that they really liked, but they didn't decide to move on it. Because the basement layout wasn't conducive to their needs, because they wanted to put like a little gym downstairs, and then they also wanted to put a trampoline in the backyard, which they didn't have enough space. So some of the yards are small in Eagles Point,
again with that villa model,
right?
But if you're already in that 625, 675 range, you kind of have the option to choose. Do you want to go with a larger estate, which will give you a larger backyard and more options? Because those actually have front and backyard.
Gotcha. Well, and now even if you did go with the cheaper estate property, you're probably
the cheaper is the villa.
I'm saying, like, if you went
the lower price
estate, you're probably looking at something that isn't as updated. So I think your trade-offs are updates versus size, because the more expensive villas are usually kind of decked out versus the lower end estate. So pros and cons.
But what I will say is, the homes were only built in 2005. Many of them, 2010, 2011.
Right.
So while they may not have all the bells and whistles, I think that you're still looking at a pretty nicely done home.
That makes sense.
Because you're looking at granite on all the counters.
That's true.
Probably stainless steel appliance packages. Because again, the property was built in the early 2000s. You're not looking at a home that was built in the 90s.
That's true.
And also, this particular builder is known for that type of home. So.
That's true. Another perk to living in Eagles Point is that you're only 7 minutes away from Waffle House. Yes, people, there's a Waffle House out there. We should talk about this.
In Dumfries.
Waffle House
only one.
I was talking to a client recently that we helped buy and sell a home this year, and I was telling them about Waffle House, and they've never been.
Oh yeah, they're from the West Coast.
Yes, if you haven't been to the Waffle House, there's a Waffle House, the only one in our region, in Dumfries, right? So Eagles Point is only 7. Now, I'm not saying that this is a good thing, right? Like if you're trying to watch your weight or something like that, don't go. But if you're not, they have what do I like there?
The Texas cheese melt.
The cheesesteak melt.
That's what you like.
But if you're gonna order the cheesesteak melt, tell them to chop the bacon, right? Because they'll try to put a strip of bacon on there, but you know how it is when you're eating a sandwich of bacon, you got to gnaw at it. So what you want to do is when you place your order, because sometimes those cooks are a little spicy. So you want to make sure you tell them to chop the bacon. And if you do get a waffle, get your waffle well done, right? Sometimes Waffle House,
soggy waffle.
They have a soggy waffle. Yes. So get your waffle well done. But that is I think that's the one of the only reasons to live in Eagles Point.
You would move there to be close to Waffle House?
To be close to Waffle House, right? Waffle House.
The only time we get out there. Like, we have to be showing properties in Dumfries or somewhere nearby to make it all the way out there. That's true. The exception of that one time we went for Theodore's birthday.
You know what else was out there? At Home. At Home is right across the street from. Is that At Home across?
That is At Home, but
yes,
it's yeah.
Yes, At Home is out there too. So,
but you know what? This area is rich in Home Goods, Home Sense, and TJ Maxx. You'll be fine without going all the way out there for At Home.
That's a good point. Excellent. So, thank you so much for your presentation on Eagles Point.
Oh, well, thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, so we're going to end things with a few outdoor dining places here in Northern Virginia. So, you know, pre-COVID, I was not a fan of eating outside. It's just not my thing. I prefer to be inside. I have a little fear of birds, so I don't want them anywhere near me while I'm eating.
It's not a little fear.
It's not a little fear. But so I've always preferred to eat inside before the coronavirus. And then Abraham prefers it just because he likes a temperature controlled setting.
Yes, I'm not really meant to be outside. I'm not really an outside person.
That's true. However, we have gotten used to eating outside more recently. And if I have an option these days, I'll actually choose to eat outside before going inside just because, you know, we have young kids. So I was thinking, you know, the weather is changing, temperatures are dropping. I was wondering, you know, a lot of restaurants that are offering outdoor seating now are going to be closing that down as the temperature drops and the weather change. We head into winter. Yes, I actually reached out to a few this week. So some places are going to do away with that. So I decided to look up places that have heated outdoor dining because I'm going to need those places as we go out as a family over the next few months when the temperature drops. So these are a few places that I've come across, and the list is actually quite extensive. I'm going to show you a couple places throughout the different parts of Northern Virginia, but this is just, I mean, this is a drop in the bucket to the number of places that are actually available that have heated dining in the area. So I figured we do 4 areas on our videos here. So I'm going to show you a couple options in each of the areas that we talk about.
The 4 areas are Fairfax County, Prince William County, City of Alexandria, and Arlington County.
That's correct.
Excellent.
And so first up, we have Arlington. So this place is going to be in the courthouse area. It's Fireworks American Pizza and Bar. So as the name suggests, they have wood-fired pizza. They also have a lot of really cool cocktails, great wines, craft beer, as well as a full menu. So their menu isn't just limited to pizza. Best of all, it's near a metro, and it's just a few minutes from DC. So that's going to be the first place on our list in Arlington. Also in Arlington, in the Arlington Heights neighborhood, we have Ruthie's All Day. And Ruthie's All Day is a new to us restaurant. We actually ate there for the first time last month, and it was actually pretty great. The thing is, looking at it from the outside, or even just by the name, you would think Ruthie's All Day kind of implies like a diner. But that's not the case at all. While they do have a full breakfast menu, which you should try the apple pie pancakes, by the way. They have a full breakfast menu, but they also have a large selection of smoked meats. It is not a barbecue spot, but they do smoke meat there throughout the day. Actually, one of their best sellers is like a smoked duck breast. They also have roasted scallops. So again, a huge menu of lots of different types of foods, not at all a breakfast joint. It's actually the only restaurant in its area for a few blocks. So if you are in that area in Arlington Heights and looking for a place to eat, then Ruthie's All Day is pretty much your only option in that immediate area. We'll say parking's not the best. The parking lot's pretty small, but we were able to find street parking pretty easily.
That's true. Yeah. Just go across the street and then cross by the red light and you'll be fine.
Next up, we'll talk about Alexandria. Our first location is going to be in Old Town. This is actually a place that I completely forgotten about until we were in Old Town taking the kids for a walk just a few weeks back. And we passed by, and that's going to be Vola's Dockside Grill. And if you can't tell from the name, it's a seafood restaurant, and it's located right along the Potomac River. They have a heated outdoor patio, lots of great seafood options on the menu. I'm a fan of the coconut shrimp and the calamari. But that's not all. You know, they also have fresh oysters, which I'm actually surprised to see on so many menus here. I didn't think that that was such a big deal in the DC metro area, but apparently you can get fresh oysters a lot of places here. And then my favorite thing on the menu, at least what I had last time I was there, was the shrimp po' boy. So that's another place to check out in Alexandria.
Do you have a shrimp po' boy?
You have a shrimp po' boy.
Well, what did I had the burger, huh?
I'm pretty sure you had the burger. So now you know next time. It's a seafood restaurant. So next time, burger. Next time, shrimp po' boy. I'll go with you. So
how was the po' boy? Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. It's just that we don't go
big shrimp on the po' boy, if I recall correctly.
They had big shrimp on the po' boy. It's right there in the torpedo factory.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, it's on the main level.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember that place. Yeah, the burger was not remarkable. But if they have a shrimp po' boy
restaurant, so
because our shrimp po' boy place closed down.
Our shrimp po' boy place did close down. Blues. If you didn't know, we're from New Orleans. I think he may have mentioned it a little while ago, and so we are big po' boy fans. And I know, baby, I know. Another thing that we're huge fans of. Barbecue. So our next spot is Rockland's Barbecue. We actually visited Rockland's this summer during our barbecue tour that we did with the kids. So if you haven't already checked out
we don't have a video of that place.
We don't. You didn't post a video?
We didn't post a video because the time we went, the food wasn't remarkable at that time. Now, I believe that they just maybe had an off day. So,
we went during their lunch rush.
Yeah.
Because we had just gone a week prior.
That's true. And the ribs are delicious.
And the ribs were great. And then it was unremarkable that last time.
Yes. So we couldn't muster up the energy to
do the video,
to put the video together.
Okay. Well, just so you know, we've been a few times. That was like the only time. That was the only time. Because we even visited Rocklands when we visited before we moved to when we used to live in New Orleans.
That's true.
Yeah. So overall, the food usually is pretty good. It is. They do have outdoor seating at the Alexandria location, and it's heated. The only thing I'll warn you about is the seating outdoors is pretty limited.
Very limited.
So it's I think it's 3 or 4 tables.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind if you're going to go during like a dinner rush. If you're going to go on like a Friday or Saturday evening, you may want to call first because, like I said, that time we went when we didn't have the best experience. It was like lunchtime. They were slammed. Like I went back in just to get a pecan pie, and I was in there for like 20 minutes just to get a pie, which is already made. So just keep that in mind.
Also, the outdoor seating is in the parking lot, so just it's not like
not a patio. It's right there. People will be parked in front of you while you eat. But again, it's wintertime, and you're looking for a place to eat that's heated with outdoor seating. So this may be a situation where we take what we can get.
I'm surprised Texas Jack's doesn't have heated outdoor seating.
I didn't call them, but they didn't come up on any of my searches, but they may. I actually reached out to Sloppy Mamas because I know last year they were trying to get a permit to add the heating element, but I called today just to confirm because we did love Sloppy Mamas, and that is on the barbecue tour playlist.
That is.
So I did call today to see if they have a whiskey garden there, and I called to see if it was heated, but they said it's not.
Gotcha. Also, if you go to Sloppy Mamas, one of their secret menu items is
wait, you're gonna tell the secrets of the World Wide Web?
Yeah, I mean, this channel's only 1,000 subscribers.
Okay.
The secret menu item is actually a burger that they make with like beef remnants from all their smoked products. They grind. It's so good.
It was
so good.
We went there on we recorded on Thursdays this summer. We went back on Sunday to have the burger.
That's true. It was delicious. It was a delicious burger.
All right, so moving along to Fairfax County. So this one is probably going to surprise Abraham. So if you're looking for something a little more low-key, family-friendly, Glory Days. Glory Days is a sports-themed American grill. So if you're looking for something like a little bit more high-end than like a chain fast casual restaurant to take the family to, Glory Days is a great option. We've been a few times with the kids. The food has always been pretty good.
Yeah, I go regularly.
Wait, you go regularly?
I do. Yeah, I mean it's not amazing, but it's
solid. That's what in my notes here. It says it's a solid restaurant, sports theme, great, pretty good food, and it has
good atmosphere too.
Good atmosphere.
I like the atmosphere,
and it has typical American fare, grilled chicken, lots of pasta options, salads, sandwiches.
They have macaroni and cheese. They have a solid macaroni and cheese.
They have a really good mac and cheese. I don't know if they still have this. They had one that had barbecue sauce with jalapenos. It was all of the things.
Yeah.
All of the things.
I think I usually get the fried shrimp.
I've never had the fried shrimp, but that sounds like something you would do.
That is like fried shrimp.
And again, they have heated outdoor seating, and probably best of all, they have a bunch of locations here in Fairfax County. The one we usually go to is in Lorton, but there's also one in Burke, Fairfax, Centerville, Falls Church, Herndon, and Reston. So you're never too far from a Glory Days.
That's true. There was actually the rumors that Kingstowne was going to get a Glory Days.
Oh, that would have been nice.
In bungalows, when bungalows closed, they thought it was going to turn into a Glory Days, but it didn't. That would have been
nice. I guess I'm glad we didn't, because we probably visit too often. But.
That's true. That's true.
All right. And then next up, you've probably heard before that we are huge fans of the Great American Restaurant Group. They own our favorite restaurant in the entire DC metro area, Mike's American Grill.
In Springfield.
Yes.
If you visit, make sure you get the white chocolate bread pudding.
That's true. Yes.
Also,
but we're going to talk about this other place.
Okay, go ahead.
We're not talking about Mike's today.
They also have firecracker shrimp.
Oh, those are delicious.
Those are
Love
delicious
them.
too.
So this is their newest concept. This is their 10th restaurant, and it's located in Reston. It's a Jack's Mighty Fine Food. And this is the only one of their locations with heated outdoor seating.
That makes sense.
So we're definitely going to have to check them out. Because one thing I like about the Great American Restaurants is, although they have a lot of different restaurants, each with its own concept, a lot of times you'll see old familiar things from one restaurant's menu on at another location. So you very well could go to Jackson and find your favorite dish from Mike's.
Right.
On their website, it actually mentions that they have a few items from Coastal Flats on the menu. But in addition to that, you're going to see things like prime rib, mac and cheese, deviled eggs. There's even sushi. So I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of on the fence, but also kind of intrigued.
I'll get a burger.
You know? So that's going to be Jackson's Mighty Fine Foods, located in the Reston Town Center. I expect it to be great because I've tried almost all of their restaurants, and I've never had less than a stellar meal at any of the Great American restaurants. Yeah. And then finally, we end up in Woodbridge, which is the last area and the topic of today's video. And so in Woodbridge, we actually have...
Prince William County is the topic of today's
video. Prince William County. You're correct. Mm-hmm. Forgive me. But in Prince William County, in Woodbridge, we have a BurgerFi, and that is going to be located in Stonebridge, which is like a town center, which is just inside of Potomac Town Center.
Have we been there?
We have not. So BurgerFi is the only burger spot. And how could I end the list without at least one burger joint? So BurgerFi is going to have grass-fed beef burgers. They also have a number of vegan and vegetarian options. So they have probably like a half dozen different burgers, 3 vegan and vegetarian options, a slew of chicken sandwiches and hot dogs. And then probably my favorite thing that I found is they're going to have frozen custards and concretes on the menu as well. And then for other folks, like the fact that they also have craft beer as well as wine available. So those are just a few of the many restaurants in Northern Virginia that have heated outdoor seating. Be sure to check them out during this winter if you're interested in dining al fresco.
Excellent job, Crystal. Excellent job with that report. Well, we've come to the end of the show. We've run a little bit later than normal. If there are any questions out there, please put them in the chat right now. We'll stay for about another minute or so, but we have to get to Hawkeye.
It's Wednesday night, and on Wednesday nights we watch Hawkeye with the kids.
It's a little slow moving, but we're almost to the end, so that means that we should be getting to the good point.
Yeah, right. This is episode 5, so there are only 2 episodes left.
That's true.
And then we move to Fridays. The Mandalorian. Well, no. The Adventures of Boba Fett.
Right? Yes. Oh, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be, I hope it's amazing.
Well, if you can't tell, we are the parents of 2 boys.
Yes.
Based upon my knowledge of Marvel and Star Wars.
Yes. So we're big Disney Plus fans. We really appreciate what they've done for indoor entertainment.
Yes, they have made indoor entertainment much more enjoyable over the last year.
Excellent. So it looks like we don't have any comments right now. So we're gonna let you all go and watch Hawkeye yourselves. Thanks again for watching this episode of Where to Live in Northern Virginia. Our focus was on Prince William County. So in today's show, we talked about the 5 reasons why you want to buy a home in the wintertime. We also covered the numbers, the real estate numbers for the Prince William market. Crystal presented us with a report on both the Eagles Point subdivision, one of the more desirable single-family communities in Woodbridge or Prince William County. And then she also gave you all some outdoor dining options with heated elements, right? So if you all visit any of those places, or if you have any questions or concerns or thoughts about the Eagles Point area, please comment down below. We also have a link in the description to the Perfect Home Questionnaire if you're ready to move to the next phase of your real estate process, whether you're buying a home or selling a home. The Perfect Home Questionnaire, there's a link in the description. Fill out that link, and then we'll schedule a time to jump on a Zoom session, a Zoom call, and I'll be able to answer any questions that you may have about real estate. So I'm Abraham Walker. This is Crystal Walker, and thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.
All right. Good stuff. I had another segment I could have done, but it was running long. But I said I was going to save it for the next Woodbridge. I already have the notes for it. All right, baby, I'm about to go make dinner. I already made dinner. All I got to do is put the pieces together. Cool. So we should be able to eat in like 20 minutes. Good video.